Hello there, welcome in. I've got a message. Don't know who it's for, don't know what it's about. Uh, Doing the daily angel message this morning, I got the Eight of Action, the Eight of Wands. And I have been feeling this intensity. I know you have. And I was not intentioning, new word, add that to Mary Jo's dictionary. I was not intending on reading on the Barbalt's basket, however you say that. I was not intending on doing any of this. Actually, it was not even on my radar until like really early this morning. So I had these decks calling to me and said, okay, let's just sit down. Let's sit down, let's have a conversation with the universe, with spirit, see what wants to come through. I don't know if this is a specific message for someone, if this is a collective message. I'm getting a nod on that from my guides. So however it hits, let's take what resonates, leave the rest. Anything else I want to say? Yeah, so we can certainly feel the intensity building with that configuration of Barbalk's basket, right? All of our outer, slower moving planets, the generational planets, the ones that bring huge and lasting change, are all meeting up with our moon. Okay? In this, very rare configuration, which was predicted back in a long time ago. I don't even have the date in my head. But, so there's that going on, right? We also, I've got to check here. Hold on, please. All right, so I just needed to look up the eclipses for August. So the 12th and then the 27th and the 28th, depending on where you live in the world. I keep getting something about the 21st of August, and I don't know. I looked up the astrology for that day, and it's really not that impressive. So I'm not quite sure why August 21st keeps coming up to me. And in fact, I keep getting the 1221 mirrored numbers. 1221 for my twin flame journey has always been a very significant date for awakening shifts for my divine masculine. So I don't know if that has anything to do with that, but I'm seeing the 12 and 21 numbers. I think I'm actually seeing them in my sleep. I wake up with them on my mind, which is very, very interesting. So anyway, back to this message that wants to come through. I have no idea. I have no idea what's. I just know that I'm feeling this intensity. I do want to express from experience, if it comes through as irritation or anger, check in with yourself. Make sure that whatever's coming up and out is, number one, it's yours. Number two, that you really look at it and ask what it's needing to say. Or, quite simply, it could just say, like, I'm just coming up and out. I'm here to say hi, bye, and then leave. Or it could just be pointing you in a direction. Either way, the intensity is certainly building, which it's a great intensity. But here's this is gonna be a long intro, right? Just grab your cup of coffee now, right? Just grab your cup of coffee now. So expressing how I've been experiencing this intensity is in a lot of different ways. Number one is needing to get a lot out because I've got a lot coming in. needing to make space for that. So sharing things that I, like channeled messages or just like pushing things out of me as I'm receiving new ones. The intensity could be old rage, old frustration, old intolerance coming up to the surface. Like I said, just to either say hi bye or look, you need to take a look at this and so we can be done with it, kind of thing. I feel this pressure, this pressurization is the best way being shown in my mind's eye. Growing up, we used to have my mom. I grew up I was born in the 60s, so my mom had one of these pressure cookers. I don't even know if they exist anymore. They had the little bell on the top that it would start going back and forth, and then as soon as the pot was like over boiling, it was so fast. It's kind of like a tea kettle going off, very loud. It's that's what I'm feeling. And if we don't master this energy, not manage, but master this energy, it can get away from us. And it could make us very short-tempered. To the one out there that I was very short with yesterday, if you're watching this, you have my heartfelt apologies. It was not my intention. So, but it's just that. It could come from left field. Let's just say that. These transits occurring right now are for the highest, greatest good of all of humanity, for sure. Jupiter is running the show for for sure on that one, expanding everything miraculous and amazing that humanity is about to move through. With that being said, there could be aspects of our old versions of ourselves that just are like clinging with the nails, trying to not let go of whatever. So there could be that pressurization, the future is coming up to meet you, but you're not quite ready to release the past or even the version of the future you thought you wanted or were getting, because it looks and it feels so different than when we started, however far back we started, and this is going to be everyone. So different for everyone. So what I was writing down yesterday is, because I was just researching this Barbalt's basket for my own self, and the question kept coming up for me. What I was recognizing is, every sign of the zodiac is being asked, in one way or another, what role am I to play here? Now you could say that could be, what's your purpose? What's your mission? But it kept coming through as what role are we here to play? I don't know if that's going to come up here, but that's just the random coffee clutch conversation this morning. I can see my camera's a little wonky, so it's whatever. Spirit said, sit down, grab these cards, and turn on the camera. And that's what I did. All right. We're going with vast vistas. Yeah, Jupiter expanding so much for everyone. You cannot be in that box anymore. You cannot play small anymore. It's not going to let you. And if you've been watching me since I began this channel, which is only a couple years ago, one of the first few videos I did was, the universe is not taking no for an answer anymore, and they're not. We have soul contracts. We're here. We're here to play a role. We're here to have a bigger part in the greater scheme of things. And this playing small is not, it's not working. This is where that box starts to feel tight. This is where that old role that you were playing starts to feel like you're suffocating. Because my breath just got taken away from me, just in this moment. This is where our mindset gets out of that Eight of Swords, being trapped, thinking, oh, I can't have anything more than what I came here to have. What was Sadie's message today from me and Reiki Light on her short? If you watch her, great. If you don't, go watch her July 16th short. She used the deck. Interesting. Happens every time. Every time she uses her Moonology manifestation deck, Spirit asks me to use this deck. So there's not a mistake there. Her message was, part of her message was, you didn't come this far just to come this far. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. You know, we've, as a collective, we've gotten comfortable with where we've gotten. And we've got a bigger future, each and every one of us, knocking on our door. I think I'm sweating all of a sudden. This is like, it's intense. And for some of you, you may be going through a purification by fire, through internal heat, internal itching, or the internal thoughts. Like, these thoughts are just like running rampant in your brain that they've got to get out, but they want your attention first. All right, wherever that's going. Oh, I love how this all plays together. So thank you, Spirit. We've got breaking trail. We're going one by one here. We're getting out of the old, and we've already broken trail for the new, for the future. You know, those of us who are here as light workers, and we've been doing the work. We've been working with other our monad group, our soul groups. We've already set the course, right? On a micro level here, you've already planted those seeds for whatever is about to be in your face. And I'm telling you, it's going to be in your face. It feels like, because I'm feeling this push behind me. If you see, I keep leaning toward the camera. The energy is like wanting to push us. But there's also something else that says, there's no need to rush this. It is imperative. So it's like, there's a little bit of a contradiction going on in the energy, maybe that push-pull. I've been hearing other readers call it this, what do they call it? I just went out of my head. Shh. It just went out of my head. Kind of like a turning point. Is that what I want to say? Is that the word just went out of my head. Anyway, I'm going to go with turning point. With this bolts. I don't even know how to say that. So forgive me if I'm butchering your name, sir. This bolts basket. This cosmic, formation here. Where am I going with that statement, Spirit? I just kind of went blank. So I'm going to go with, we've already planted the seeds. We've already started, whether you realize it or not. But some of us are right now, if we haven't already started the work on this, we're being pushed out of what's been comfortable for a really long time, and Spirit is asking us, to dream bigger, to imagine bigger. like Sadie says, we didn't come this far just to come this far, right? There's so much more. And then when we get fully anchored into that, there's even going to be so much more after that. So no more limitations on ourselves. You know, the trail is going to be as long as wide as we prepare it to be, right? And that's another thing I want to say. We've been prepared for this. And whatever is coming with the eclipses in August, this transit, this basket thingy is preparing us for that. I mean, nothing is a mistake here. And then we've got fellow travelers. You know, this is where you may be meeting new soul groups, meeting up with people to collaborate with. And I want to say these are going to be situations and people that you would never imagine yourself associating with, but something about it just draws you in. There's a lure there, and it's not. I don't want to say it's a temptation, where there's a darker energy behind it, kind of luring you in that way. There is an attraction. There's a yes, I know. My soul is like saying to me, yes, I know that this is the direction I'm meant to go in, when I would never have imagined myself going in this direction. But I'm just trusting my higher self. I'm trusting my soul that this is the right path, and I'm going to see what happens. So you never know. You just never know. When am I using this? Not yet. Okay. Let's get a little tarot on this to see what else wants to come out here. So yeah, we are breaking trail. There is a breakthrough at hand. As you may have felt things kind of maybe go to a screeching halt in some areas of your life. But that's just because the energy is being, I'm hearing the foundation is being set in place. So I'm being shown, what the heck is that? A cement truck laying a foundation for like a pad or a patio, or it's like just a sidewalk kind of thing. And the thing is, so what I'm seeing in this, I'm seeing our footprints. You know how when a family buys a home and they put in a driveway or a sidewalk, and they have their kids, or they, if they're newlyweds, they'll put their hands or their feet in it and put the date. That's what I'm seeing. Although there's no date. There's interesting to say that there isn't any date here, but I'm seeing, footprints being put into the cement. There's going to be a marker. You're going to know when this shift occurred, specifically when it occurred. Even though we've been prepared for it coming up to it, there's a specific pivot point for each and every person on this planet that they're going to be able to look back and go, yep, that was the time. That was the situation that catalyzed all of this new, expansive version of myself. So that's interesting. All right, let's have a conversation here, Spirit. Thank you. I'm not taking all of that. I'm taking those. Not taking all of this. That's spillage. It could be a lot. I mean, that's something I feel like I need to say. That's something to be aware of. That if, like I said before, if we don't master this energy for ourselves, there could be a lot of spillage. First card out, we have the Lovers. So unions could be coming into play. I will be talking about that a little more. I have been talking a little bit about that up to this point. We've got Page of Swords. Discovery. I'm hearing discovery. Two of Pentacles. What do I do with it? Ideas. There's some ideas. You know, some of you could be getting ideas and, deciding how to implement that into the world. We've got the Four of Cups. I'm hearing it's not the time to go to sleep on any of these dreams. It's the time to wake up. Interesting. Time to wake up with the Four of Cups. It's like he's in a trance here. And these fairies are all moving him. They're moving him to where he needs to be. They're like, come on, wake up, wake up, wake up. I want to say we have to be careful we don't let this energy carry us over the top. There is a very fine line here I'm sensing between the old and the new. And if we don't get our footing, right? If we don't get our footing, no more procrastination. I've got to say that because it's someone saying it over here. No more can't. I said it once. That's it. You heard me. Can't say it again. So I think maybe somebody needed to hear that. We have the Page of Cups. So we've got 2 pages here. Something about the inner child. What else, Spirit? And yeah, I'm getting something about the inner child. So quite possibly that could be what's coming up, like old memories, old dreams, even from childhood. Discovering something new about ourselves, discovering that maybe what we wanted, what we dreamed of isn't or is, truly what we want. The Ace of Swords, yes, that's truth. What I just said is truth. It's becoming clear. Yes, this is what I want. No, this is not what I want. There's no in between. There's no waffling. It's about making the decision, choosing the future from the heart space and the mind space, but logically, does this make me happy? That's not how I want to say that, because we need to be happy first before we move forward, right? This is like, would this add value to what I'm dreaming of? That's just kind of coming out wonky, but I hope you know what I'm getting at. Talk to me about the energy of this ball bolt configuration. Judgment. It is in the kind of sideways position. 9 of Pentacles. I'm kind of feel, so it kind of came out like that. I'm feeling like it's time. There's no going back into this small box. There's no more going to sleep on your dreams. There's no more going over the old plans and the old ways of manifesting. I'm also getting, for some, it's about releasing the material gains. He's being pulled away from materialism. I've seen this card often. I mean, like, I've seen it, but not the way I'm seeing it today. This is definitely a wake-up call. that's exactly what this is. I can talk about Baalbelt's basket. I can talk about the eclipses. I don't want to say they don't matter, because they do. They're very key role. They play very key roles in this awakening of humanity, right? They also play very key roles in twin flame unions, true twin flame unions, coming together. We'll get to that later, maybe not in this video, but whatever, doesn't matter what I talk about. We are in the midst of an incredible wake-up call. And I'm going to say, not everybody's handling it. I'm being given the word cohesively. So I'm just going to go with that. That's what I'm hearing. Why? Because this squeeze, this pressurization could be bringing up childhood memories. It could be bringing up relationship standards. Ooh, nice word. That don't fit anymore. And maybe you're discovering they never did. Let's put that there. Maybe the relationships that you've been in have all been about status and social standing and what you own, how much you make. There's something shifting here. There's nothing wrong with making money. It's energy. There's nothing wrong about being abundant, right? But I feel like for that, Spirit is showing me here that it's shifting. Like your view of your greater view of it all is shifting. Yours, mine, everyone's. It's, when I say you, I don't eliminate myself at all in these messages. I've got one more space here. Where are we going? World. New Earth gets birthed through us. We are the event. We are whatever you've been. This is what I've channeled through. The event is us. It's the awakening. It's the Christ consciousness coming up and out of everyone. Whole new cycle starting. We've got the tools. We know how to implement them. We know how to. If we didn't have them, we wouldn't have. We only receive the tools when we've mastered them fully. Okay? And when we master them fully, that's when the universe, the Wheel of Fortune moves and opens up this new pathway for us to walk on. Well, we've been doing that. Okay? We've already been breaking trail. I feel like the trail gets broken open even more with this energy, this intensity. I like that none of these cards show that intensity. So that intensity is kind of like something that's running under the surface, but you're gonna feel it, man. In fact, let's see what's under the surface. Yeah, Chariot and the Death card. Where we're going, you're not gonna recognize. You and your world, in one way or another, are going to be so fully transformed, you're not going to recognize it. Some of you, it's love. It's some of you, it is financial security and freedom. Others of you, it's freedom from a mindset. It's liberation from a mindset. I want to take a look at this Four of Cups here. That intrigued me by what they said. What is the Four of Cups? Anything else this wants to say to me? Ten of Cups and the Moon. So we just had the new moon in Cancer 2 days ago, still in the energy as I'm doing this reading. We have on the 29th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. Full moon in Aquarius. We also have Venus squaring Mars on that day. So that could be when some really true feelings come out between you and another, about you and another, something very deep, something that's been hidden. All right, I get why that trance energy is coming through, is because, yeah, we are being woken up here. Gabriel's horn waking us up, and some of us are going to have to be pulled up out of this trance. I feel like the trance is the old belief system. Keeping yourself small, not believing you can have more than what you've achieved so far. But those are lies, that we've been telling ourselves. This energy is asking you, me, us, if we are brave enough to walk down that trail. I mean, this is a trail of thorns and prickliness, and it's uncomfortable. We've done that for the most part, but I feel like there's another trip down there, but in a different energy. We're in a wholly different energy. The Ten of Cups is a higher vibration. I don't know where that's going here, but Ace of Swords, what is, show me a little bit more on the truth that's coming to light here. Clarity. Again, it's going to be different for each and every one of you, but collectively, there's a truth. Ten of Swords, something's done. The old way of thinking is done. Ten of Pentacles, two tens. We've already got 3 tens on the table here. I'm looking for any others. No, it's the truth. What kind of legacy do we want to leave? What's the truth of our past? What's the truth of the future that we want to manifest? Putting the past behind us. The Ten of Wands is the one that's missing. I'm going to look to see where it is. What's holding up the Ten of Wands? Taking responsibility. Or the burden. What's holding up us putting down the burden? Oh my gosh, I get it. We've been protecting the past for too long. Ten of Wands in between the Seven of Wands and the Five of Cups. For some of you who have families that, kids and spouses and whatnot, I feel like what's ending here with that is it's like I feel like you're trying to protect what you've built, and the responsibilities that you've taken on, but I feel like it's getting heavier. You're going to notice it's getting heavier here. And you're like, no, that's not my role anymore. Yeah. Gotta let those kids, gotta let them fly. I don't know who's got to hear that, but gotta let them fly. Of course, if they're little, they still need your guidance, but, and yes, you can still protect what you've built there. But I feel like the role that you've been playing is shifting in the family dynamic. And of course, we've got the family dynamic with an ending here. Ending of what you thought was true, what you've been telling yourself, what you were told. Maybe an illusion, maybe an old dream. So the light, the truth is coming to light here. Many of us are discovering what that truth is just now, just discovering, or at least, the very least, this energy is showing us, it's leading us that way. Why the intensity that I'm picking up, Spirit? Why the intensity? I feel for a lot of us, it could be the not trusting ourselves, or like I said, maybe there's this like still holding on, gripping on to the old version of life as the future version is coming online. I don't feel that we need to be worried too much about that. Four of Swords. Yeah, we're going to be cut free. Actually, we're the ones going to be doing the cutting. The Magician. Kind of like the apprentice, and now the master, right? Some of us are still learning how to work with the elements and the tools that we've been given. But don't worry, because this energy is going to move us into mastery mode. So if we work with the energy, the devil, don't be tempted. There's that word temptation again. Some of us there could be some temptation, but that's not how I was feeling it earlier. But this is just like, we're going to be shown where we're trapped right now. Relationships, friendships, jobs, mindsets, old memories changing. We're discovering the truth of what we believed, what we were telling ourselves all this time about a memory. I was having this conversation yesterday. We've been, growing up, you have this memory of a situation, and then when you become aware of yourself and you wake up and whatnot, and it's like that memory changes shape because you realize, wait a minute, I only have my perspective of it. I don't have the other person's. And if you are unable to get the other person's perspective, if they're passed on, maybe, reach out, maybe I can help you getting their perspective. But without that perspective, you're only left with the new truth that, okay, there is a potential that there's a different story here, but even that acceptance of that there's a potential of that being true, that I don't know, that I'm really not trapped, that memory doesn't hold power over me anymore. And that's what this is. I mean, look at these situations. Both of these situations is where we have given our power away to somebody else, right? I mean, how else would he have gotten there? how else would he have gotten trapped in that glass jar? Maybe he gave his power away to alcohol. Those situations are teaching us how to become the master. It's important that we stay very aware of ourselves, our thoughts, our words, our actions at this time. Any final messages here with the tarot? Come here. Nine of Cups. Trust that everything that you desired is coming to you. Could be a new birth, could be a new pet, could be new friends. It's worth celebrating. Every little bit of this, every cup has been worth celebrating. And if you haven't celebrated every cup, go back and do that now. However you've got to do it. Go back and celebrate that. Be happy now. This is going to bring, for some of you, this is going to bring union. Like I said, I can't make that up. It's all on the bottom of the deck. For others of you, it's going to bring whatever you've always... I feel like with this energy, let me just say this. I feel like with this energy, it's opening us up. I mean, the breaking trail is within us. It's happening within the heart space. It's happening within the mind space. It's happening, whatever. And it's showing us that we are worthy and we are safe to dream bigger. We are safe in telling ourselves that just because I've gotten this far doesn't mean this is as far as I go. Just saw 4242 on the timer. I love when the numbers like that show up. So that could be significant for somebody. Synchronicities are going to start amping up here. But are your eyes open to see it? I want to say yes. I mean, they're getting there. This energy is certainly, it's not going to take no for an answer. Oh, hello there. We got one that's already flying out of the deck. Get a final guidance messages. Get a few of them, please, Spirit. Taking that one. Is that just one? Yes. Let's get one more. I don't know if this made sense. If it does, great. If it doesn't, great. If you want to know what this energy, if you're feeling this intensity and you want to know, you want to go deeper for your own self, my email is in the description box. I would love to have a sit down with you or at least record a reading for you. That would be, it would be helpful to have for what this is meaning for you personally. Because like I said, I could read this collective energy, but boy, this really is so individual. It's no joke. Okay. We have the past. Releasing the past, maybe taking another look at the past, telling yourself a new story. Did it really happen the way it happened? And if not, then how does it change the emotional memory of that? Think about that, right? We have take a breath. Kind of hard to do here where I live today. We have a lot of the smoke. We're starting to really smell it from the Canadian wildfires. Went out to the pharmacy this morning and I got home to my phone with my daughter's message going, "Stay inside today, Mom." Well, too late. It took my breath away. It was really difficult. I also want to say that, it came through earlier that this intensity, what's coming in for you, could certainly take your breath away. Just remember to stay in your breath, stay centered. I got confirmation with the siren going off in the background there, and we also have releasing. So definitely a message here about releasing anything. Walk around your house. I came across a post this morning that said, what are you hanging on to because you feel guilty if you get rid of it? Walk around your house and choose 5 things. Why are you still holding on to that? Can you let it go? And if not, why not? Really have an honest conversation with yourself why you can't let that go. Does it still represent the role that you're here to play? Or does it represent an old version of yourself that really has no part in the future you and the future that's coming for you? Good time to declutter. I've been saying that. Around the eclipse time, it's always a good time to declutter as well. So I'm really feeling that energy already. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope this brought something or anything through for whoever. But big times are going on. Big times. If you're a twin flame, you can catch me live tomorrow on the 17th, 7/17, from Divine Messenger 7/17. So we will go through the zodiac signs and do twin flame readings. So we'll catch you later, all right? I love you. We'll speak to you soon.